Hey boys and girls, I'm gonna read a little bit more about birds from our book, our school book, all about animals, or all kinds of animals, excuse me. While you're working on your bird project, I thought you might want some a little bit more information about birds and some tidbits of information. So this will be a little story time for you. In one of the videos, I gave you the bird assignment and talked about what you're to do. And we talked about cardinals, and we talked about how you are going to come up with a paper similar to this, okay? You're going to do the best job you can to make it look something like this and talk about their habitat. You're going to talk about their physical characteristics, their diet, and what you think is interesting about them. And remember, you're to choose one bird from the list you made last week, or a bird that you are interested in learning more about. All right, so I'm going to read a little bit more about birds from this story, from the storybook. This is talking about building a nest. Here's some cool pictures. Now, Eli sent in a picture last week of a nest he found in his yard with an egg, a bright blue egg in it that was beautiful. And Jameson sent in they had a bird going into their birdhouse that was feeding babies. So this is the time of year for that. So be looking around, because you never know where you might find a nest. Sometimes they're on the ground. Sometimes they're in a bush or in a tree. Sometimes they fall out of the tree if it's a windy day. Sometimes that happens too, and you might find one that's empty laying on the ground. One cool thing, like my favorite nest, and I'll have to try to remember to show you guys a picture of this, but because I have my horses, my favorite nest is where a bird took the horsehair, and see how they take the nest and they put the twigs around? Well, this nest was all completely made out of horsehair, and I thought it was just the sweetest thing. How God's created birds to just go and gather supplies, and they work so hard and they build these perfect little nests that their eggs are going to sit in perfectly. And the fact that they used horsehair, I thought was really, really sweet and really, really neat. So building a nest. When nesting time comes in the spring, the mother bird flies around to find a good, safe place for her nest. She carefully looks over many bushes, shrubs, and small trees before she chooses a place. Then she begins building. The father will hardly ever help, but he will keep her company and sing to her. It takes 3 to 9 days for the mother cardinal to build a nest. She makes it out of twigs, stem, dried leaves, pieces of bark. To finish the nest, she lines the inside with soft, dried grass. After waiting a few days, the mother cardinal begins to lay eggs. She will lay 1 egg each day until she has 3 or 4 in her nest. Only after she has finished laying eggs will she begin to sit on them. While she's sitting on the eggs, the father will fly back and forth, bringing seeds, berries, and insects for her to eat. When she does leave the nest to get a drink, the father carefully guards the nest. There are many animals that like to eat bird eggs. In only 12 days, the baby redbirds begin to chirp their way through their shells. When they first hatch, cardinals have no feathers at all, and their eyes are tightly closed. But by the time they are 10 days old, their bodies are covered with soft brown feathers, and they are begging for something to eat. So here's some photos of those little babies. And they're just chirping away, wanting their mama to bring them some food. If you've never seen baby birds, they're really cute. They kind of look like they're all mouth, because their mouth's usually open. Feed me, feed me. Before long, the young cardinals will try to leave the nest and fly. This is a very dangerous time for the young redbirds. Because their wings are not yet strong enough to fly far or fast, now it is the father cardinal's turn to take care of the little birds. He makes sure they find enough food, and he watches out for cats, skunks, raccoons, snakes, other animals who like to eat young birds. Meanwhile, the mother cardinal's busy too. She's building another nest. Cardinal parents raise 2 to 3 families every spring and early summer. Isn't that neat? So they don't just have one batch of eggs. They're going to do that 2 or 3 times every spring or summer. So be on the lookout for some baby cardinals, because we have a lot around my house, so there's probably some flying around your house too. By the end of the summer, each of the young redbirds will have lost its brown baby feathers. The hardworking parents are very busy finding enough insects to feed themselves and all their hungry youngsters. Think of this. Did you ever stop to think that cardinal parents are doing us a favor? Think of how many caterpillars, potato bugs, and other insects that are out there that wouldn't be good for our gardens or that would destroy our gardens and our food if it weren't for the cardinal families and other bird families catching insects to feed their young. Cheer, cheer, cheer. Here's a pretty picture. It says, compare the jobs that mothers and father cardinals each have to do and how they each, God has them each doing a specific thing. They both have a specific job to do. And they have specific duties, specific ways to help their families, to help each other, to build nests and to feed each other. So just like people, God designed people differently too. Some of us are better at some things than other people. Some of us have different skills. Some of us love cursive and some of us don't. Some of us are great at math and some of us aren't. And the same thing's true within your family. Your father has a different set of skills than your mother. Sometimes they may have the exact same skills, but they may have different experiences from their past, which gives them a little bit of a difference, a different type of skills, even though they may both take care of you. And maybe both of them take turns cooking dinner or washing dishes or doing laundry. Maybe they both do that. But from their experiences and from God's design, they're still each different, and they bring different things to your family and contribute in different ways. I wanted to give one more example because our storybook goes on to talk about robins, and this is an example of the same assignment you have, but it's a robin this time. It's got habitat, physical characteristics, diet, and interesting facts. All right, and that's a robin. We see robins around here quite often too. And I'm going to show you, here's a robin with a worm. And they say a robin is the first sign of spring. So if you see a robin, that means spring's on the way. They're usually one of the first birds that we start to see. There's some eggs, which looks a whole lot like the eggs Eli showed us. Robin eggs are known to be blue. Looks like they have 4 in their nest. And here's some baby robins hatching out. Look at that. And this is something robins would love. A bunch of worms, lots of earthworms. All right, well, enjoy. Hopefully, you guys will have a great week, and I want you to enjoy investigating the bird of your choice. Don't look at this as a horrible assignment that's going to take forever. It's a chance to learn something and to observe and explore something that you may not know a lot about, and then to document what you've learned about that animal or about that bird. Don't forget, you need to come up with a list of nouns, a list of verbs, and a list of adjectives before you start. And those nouns, those verbs, and those adjectives should be related to the bird you're choosing. That will help you. When you do that list of nouns, verbs, and adjectives, that will help you come up with your final little piece that you're going to make with their habitats and their physical characteristics and all of that on it. All right? And it's also going to help you remember what nouns, verbs, and adjectives are and how they work in your sentences. All right? Can't wait to see your stories. Remember, you have 2 weeks. So you have this week, Monday through Friday, to work on it. You can turn it in anytime when you're done by just taking a picture or letting me know you finished it. And you have the following week. So 2 weeks, that's going to put us into May, I believe. I don't have my calendar in front of me. So you guys can do it. It'll be a great little assignment kind of like a little mini science report or book report on the bird of your choice. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. I love you guys. Have a great day. See you later. Bye.